Now, we had messages delivered yesterday by the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. And the question tonight I want to ask is, can Labour be better than the Conservatives in government? And I say that because Rishi Sunak's list of achievements that he pointed out to us in his New Year's speech didn't impress me. He began by saying we have record funding for the NHS and social care. Well, yes, that's true. The projected budget this year for the NHS alone is £168 billion. But it doesn't matter what you spend if the waiting list is now approaching 8 million people. He then went on to say that schools in England are surging up the global league tables. Well, that's quite a claim. And whilst it's true that from 2008 to 2018 there were improvements in the education system, we've basically marked time since that moment. But the OECD say that across a range of countries, actually, educational standards have gone down. And our maths marking showed the worst results since 2006. He then tells us he's getting the economy growing. Really? It's barely grown at all over the course of the last 6 months, and each revision seems to move the number downwards, which is perhaps why inflation is falling the way that it is, because perhaps we're actually going to go into a recession. But his pledge to cut inflation by half, well, yes, he is achieving that. And then, unbelievably, he talks about the biggest business tax cut in modern British history. That's the couple of pennies off national insurance for employers. This after, in the very same calendar year, he put corporation tax up for every firm, from a local laundrette to big businesses, put it up by 30%. And the tax burden for businesses and for individuals is the highest that it's been for over 70 years. I am absolutely sick to death of hearing this sophistry, sick to death of how disingenuous it seems the Prime Minister and all of his ministers are. They present us with spin, with things that simply are not true. But the question is, would Keir Starmer be any better? Let's take a quick look at Keir Starmer's New Year message.
We're confident we have a plan that can move our country forward, end the cost of living crisis, take back our streets, get the NHS back on its feet, cheaper energy bills for your home, more opportunities for your children. But most of all, I'm ready to renew our politics so it once again serves our country.
Well, some very big claims there from Sir Keir Starmer as to what he's going to do if and when he wins the next general election. And by the way, looking at the polling, nothing is changing. The Conservatives are consistently 18 to 20 points behind. Technically, the election could go until January of next year, but I think it's 95% likely it'll be in this calendar year. In fact, it could even be 50-50 whether they decide to go for a May election, knowing that the legal immigration figures, when they come out, will be even higher than the 745,000 net figure last year. And of course, once we get good weather, the small boats will start to come again.